Hey everybody, it's the Golden Sound Twice here. I'm gonna make a different video today focusing on a different matter. Um, you can think of it as a request from a Spoonie to all the able-bodied and neurotypical people out there. This in no way, shape, or form is an attack. And I obviously don't think that I speak for all spoonies who struggle with physical or mental disabilities, but I feel like this is one matter that I can definitely safely discuss, and I feel that other people who struggle with my same issues or have other issues that they struggle with would pop in and be like, yes, this is a thing that needs to be addressed. So today I had an experience at work. I was working, and it was not a better day for me. I was not feeling very well, but I'm doing what I can do. And as I've mentioned before, I just recently have been using a cane, and I'm not very used. Well, at this point, I've been using it for about 2 months or so, so I have gotten used to using it. But compared to where I was like at the beginning of this year, most certainly was not using a cane, and I was much healthier. Um, and it's more of like I've always like for the past 5 to 6 years internally there's not been things right with me. The internal part of my body hasn't been focusing well or working well, but it hasn't physically manifested itself, and so people did not realize that I had disabilities and thought I was able-bodied. But now those disabilities are manifesting themselves, and so they're becoming physical disabilities as opposed to invisible disabilities. So um, so I was doing something for a customer today at work, and I brought out an item to them, and they were trying to be very polite and very kind. Unfortunately, it did not turn out being that way. So I brought out the item, and the customer was like, "Oh, you didn't have to do that." And I was like, "Oh, I don't mind." It gets me around the counter. Yes, yes, of course, my feet and my legs and my body is on fire. I feel like I'm going to fall over and die. I could have called from behind the countertop, but I chose not to because I was like, you know what? I want to walk around the counter, and it will hurt, and it's going to be a struggle. But I have been sitting down for an hour, and I would like to move. And so I made that decision myself. So the customer wanted to be helpful and was like, "Well, I could have come got it." And I'm like, "It is okay, do not worry." And then they were like, "Well, seeing as how you are a cripple," and I was like, "What?" And I quickly explained, "I appreciate that. No, I am not crippled. Um, thank you for your concern." Uh, it is not okay to call somebody a cripple. First of all, that terminology I believe is very outdated. I think there can be countless, like my head says at least beyond 150 different reasons why a person would be using a cane or a wheelchair. Uh, one should not say cripple, and nor I've also had people come up. I will be at a mall, I will be at a grocery store, I will be at work, and I have had strangers come up and say, "What's that?" It is a cane. Now, granted, before I had this, I had a walking stick that was meant for hiking out on hiking trails because I could not afford a cane. This was it came to me used as a gift, and I am very thankful for it. And it's much easier to walk with. But canes are very expensive, and so I can understand somebody's confusion. But I figured if you could see me hobbling along with it, odds are I'm using it as a cane. So it is very baffling to me. Even far beyond me, like, but even before I started having my invisible illnesses going on, and maybe it's because I grew up around people who had both physical and invisible disabilities, but it was like, and I was also raised like, you don't ask unless if the person is in a situation where they're willing to talk about it. And it's just been very appalling and startling to me how strangers will approach me and not only ask me, like, oh, what's that, but will also do so in a tone and manner that highly implicates that they don't believe that I should be using one slash deserve one slash they think I'm lying. And it's like if you go up to somebody with glasses and they're like, why do you have that? Why are you using that? Why do you have glasses? What's wrong with your eyes? Why can't you see straight? Because I can't and I can't help it. It's just like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have like got up in the face of the camera there. I just wanted to emphasize that's how startling it is. And it's like, no, I don't want to use a cane. Nobody wakes up one day and says, gee, you know, it'd be really great if I suddenly get sick and lose the ability to move on my own. Nobody's gonna wake up and say that. And yeah, you have to take extra precautions. You have to do extra things for people who have both invisible and physical disabilities, but that's not that person's fault. And absolutely, can it get stressful and frustrating? Yes, it can get stressful and frustrating for both parties. Very much so. But like, if you're a stranger, if you do not know that person, I do not believe you have the right to approach the person and be like, but why are you the way that you are? Because I am. It's very interesting to me. But anyway, so this video, I'm not making it to be mean to anybody. I'm not making it to make anybody feel comfortable. I'm just stating what my thoughts and feelings are on this matter, and I think that it would be important for people to know, unless if you are in the situation where the person who has that physical or invisible disability wants to talk about it, just be polite and courteous and don't ask. That doesn't mean that you can't question in your head. I've seen people in like particular situations and I'm like, I wonder what's going on here. But that doesn't mean that I should become invasive into that person's space or privacy unless if that information is being offered. And even if it is being offered and if they sound like a little bit agitated or frustrated, don't take that the wrong way. It's because they get asked a lot. I've been asked so many times, why do you have a cane? Oh, you're too young for this. And it goes on, and I'm trying to be as polite and courteous as I can be, but sometimes I'm just like, eh. So anyway, that's my thoughts and matters and opinions. And yeah, so again, this was a video to make people aware, and a shout out to everybody who has a invisible or visible. Did I say invisible already? If you have a visible or invisible or visible disability, just keep hanging in there. Some days are going to be so much better than others, and just whether you can do the big things or the small things, you're doing a great job, and I am so proud of you, and we're all in this together. So anyway, thank you for listening to me, and y'all have a wonderful day. So the Golden Sun Twice out.